Hey guys, what's up? This is LJS here, and I am back finally after a long hiatus with another video. Sorry guys, I've been away for I think 3 or 4 weeks since my last video. Yeah, I guess I've been really busy with university work, project, and now I'm finally on a break. I finally have holidays, but even if I have holidays, I still have to study for my exam after holidays. But anyways, I'm back today with a deck profile of the Raizers. So this is the generation set 1 Raizers, and some of you has been asking me to do a Raizer deck profile, and I know Raizer has been out since set 17, and now it's already set 1 of G set 1, so I'm a bit slow, but it's okay. Set 1 had some Raizer support, and now this is a Raizer deck with Stride support. So Raizers are still pretty good, I'd say, because they abused a loophole in the Legion rule with Cat Butler, and I'll go into that later. But yeah, so basically they just abused the heck out of Cat Butler for the Legion skill. So so let's get the deck profile. So I'm gonna go through the deck list real quick for those of you who know the skills and just want to see deck list. But for those of you who want to know the skills as well as the more technical breakdown of why the deck is built this way, I'll keep watching and I'll get into that as well. So for the starter, this is my friend's deck. So for the starter, he runs Transmigrating Evolution Marayo. So he's the Grade 3 searcher because this deck only runs 6 Grade 3s, and you want to prevent Great Luck. Although even though if you get a great start, you still have G assist, so it's fine. So Grade 3 to help you search for Grade 3s, that's starter. Then for the Grade 3s, my friend runs 4 Ultimate Raizer Mega Flare. So this is your main boss, and you want to ride into him and not anything else, because he creates a huge amount of pressure because he gains a crit, and with Cat Butler, he can restand. So you can abuse Cat Butler to make him restand with huge amount of pressure. Next, he runs Marine Raizer Anchor Arm. This is an interesting card choice. It is the Vanilla Legion and a backup Grade 3, because if you want to go Drill Wing, because Drill Wing is quite costly, it's Counterblast 2, and now with the Stride, there isn't much space for Counterblast. And the thing is, he's useful because even in a rearguard circle, he is a 12k swinger, so he's a backup Grade 3. And when he Legions, he swings for a large number as well. So for Grade 2s, he runs 4 of the Mate for the Mega Flare, the Ultimate Raizer Dual Flare. So he's there because he's a mate, number 1, and his skill is also quite decent because he allows you to restand him and attack for a bigger number. And next, he runs the new Raizer from set 1 called the Masurao Raizer. So this guy is actually pretty good because when he restands, he can restand a whole column, more pressure, columns and all that. And next, he runs 2 of the Vanilla Raizer, which is the mate of this guy as well. So there we go, mate. As a backup Legion in case you miswrite your Raizer, your Mega Flare. So yeah. Next, for Grade 1s, he runs 3 Perfect Guards, 1 Quintet Wall. And next, he runs 4 Carving Raizer. So he is your he's a very special booster. So if he boosts on Raizer, he can be an 8k booster or a 10k booster. I'll talk about his skill later, but yeah. So basically, he's there to help make numbers. And 3 Screaming and Dancing Announcer. So he's your Lien clone, which is your rest, drop, and draw. And 2 Extreme Metal Arashid just for stride fodder, just to be able to stride. Although this deck isn't really much focused in stride because your main focus is still Mega Flare's pressuring critical, extra critical, and the stride is just for extra bonus or extra benefits. And he runs 4 of the star of this deck, Cat Butler, and this is a very crucial card in his deck because he works well with your Legion and does stuff. And for triggers, he runs 4 crits, so 8 crits, 4 draws, and 4 heals, all Raizers, because, Raizer deck. And from the G zone, he runs 2 Victoplasma, your restanding stride, and he runs 4 Victin, which is a very pressuring card, because now Nova Grapplers focus a lot on restanding, so he helps you restand your rear guards, and it's really pressuring for the opponent to allow him to hit or not. And he runs 2 Element Atmos as a finisher. So now let's get to the skills of the card, shall we? So firstly, your starter. Your starter is the Grade 3 Searcher. So basically, what he does is, let me focus this here. Counterblast 1 and put it in your soul. If you do, look at top 5 cards of your deck and search for a Grade 3 and put it in your hand. So yeah, so he's there to help you prevent getting Grade stuck and to increase your chances of riding into Mega Flare, because Mega Flare is your main Grade 3 one right into. So yeah, so even though he's a pretty luck based, and this deck, as you notice, only runs 6 Grade 3s, so chances of him failing is pretty high. But on the chances that he does succeed, it is good to be able to start off with him, or it's also good to get extra Grade 3s for Stride fodder before you Legion. So next, let's go to Mega Flare. So Mega Flare skill is, first one is Legion, of course, perform Legion, and he Legions with his mate, which is Dual Flare. So Mega Flare and Dual Flare. So his second skill is his Legion skill. So when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if this unit is in Legion, and you have 4 rested units, so okay, your rested units is 4 or more, he gets an extra critical until end of that battle. So when you say rested units, it means him, his mate, and 2 other guys. So basically, for Legion, both Vanguards count as 2 separate units. So when they are rested, that's counted as 2 rested units. So all you need is another booster behind him rested and another attacker that is rested. Then you achieve his conditions to get the extra critical. And his third skill is when this unit attacks a Vanguard. Okay, when he attacks and hits a Vanguard, restand another of your Raizer, if you have another Raizer in the same column as him. So basically, his third skill does not require Legion. So all you need to do is you attack and it's boosted with something, okay, in the same column, and it hits, you can restand a rear guard. And that's a free restand, which is really good. Like, wow, so cheap. All you need to do is, so this deck is pretty pressuring because number 1, he has a critical pressure. Number 2, he has an on-hit skill pressure. And this third skill is useful pre-legioning as well, because if you are unable to Legion or you are unable to Stride, you still have that pressure from his third skill to hit and restand another rear guard to get another attack, which is really good. So yeah, so that's him. Next is the other Grade 3, which is the Vanilla Legion. So basically, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if it's in Legion, he gains an extra 5k. So they swing for, when they're Legion, they swing for 25k. Where is it? There you go. Sorry. So when they're Legion and he attacks, they swing for 25k. So it's a big number, 25k. Boom. And his third skill is a rear guard skill. So in a rear guard skill, he's a 12k attacker. So yeah, I guess it's useful as a 12k attacker. But he's just a backup guy to ride, I guess. So next is your Grade 2, Dual Flare. So he's the mate of your Mega Flare. His skill is, on the turn that your Vanguard Legions, when the Vanguard attacks, stand his unit and he gets 5k. So he is a free restander for the turn that your Vanguard Legions. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Next is Musaro Raizer. He's also a really, really useful card. So when this unit stands, due to the effect from one of your cards, if you have Vanguard with Raizer, choose another rear guard in the same column as this unit and stand it. So basically, if your Vanguard is a Raizer and he restands from a card skill, you can restand the back row. So essentially, you are able to restand a full column. So this is really useful because it is a powerful attack. So he swings, restands, and then you swing for another 16k column. So let's just say you have a 16k column attack. If let's say you get Mega Flare skill off and he restands, he also restands. So yeah, very pressuring card. And next is your Vanilla, which is no skill. So Vanilla means there's no skill. So Perfect Guard is Perfect Guard because you can guard your Vanguard. So you can Perfect Guard. So You can also run the Lady Cyclone, which is the unflipping perfect guard. Although there isn't really much point because this deck isn't exactly very counterblast heavy. And the thing is, now with the cross running around, you would want to be able to guard your rear guards because the cross, if it hits, they can restand. So yeah, you don't want to give them the advantage. Also, we have a Quintet Wall for early game. It allows you to quickly set up your drop zone to help your Legion quickly because you want him to get the critical off because the critical on Mega Flare is very pressuring. Next is Covering Raizer. So Covering Raizer skill is during your turn, okay, all of your other units with Raizer in his card name in the same column as this unit gains 2k. So basically what it means is that, let's say this is your column, okay, and then during your turn, he gains 2k. He does not gain 2k because he says all of your other units with Raizer. So basically he's an 8k booster. So behind him, they swing for 18. Behind him, they swing for 20k. No, sorry, yeah, 20k. But if you are behind a Legion unit, he is essentially a 10k booster. So his skill says that all other Raizers in the same column gains 2k. So if you're in Legion, you have two other Raizers in the same column as him. So they both gain 2k. So now he's a 10k booster. So it's really useful. So behind, let's say Mega Flare, they swing for a whopping 30k. Yeah, 30k, which is quite pressuring, I guess. So next is your Screaming and Shouting and Dancing and Announcer Shout, sorry, yeah. So basically his skill is like late Maiden Lian skill. Rest him, discard a card, draw a card. So he is in there to help you filter through your decks to quickly look for your important card, which is Cat Butler, or in case you don't have your Mega Flare in your hand, to help you quickly get Mega Flare in your hand. Next is your Extreme Battle Arashid. So he is the Stride fodder. So he's mainly in this deck to discard for Stride cost because his second skill says that when you are going to Stride and if you discard him as a cost, he gains an extra 2 grades. So basically all you need to do is discard one of him to Stride. So yeah. And his first skill is not useful in his deck because his first skill allows you to search for Extreme Battler Victor, but he doesn't run it in his deck. So it doesn't matter. So next is Cat Butler, the star of this deck. So at the beginning of the close step of the battle that your Vanguard attacked, if your Vanguard attack did not hit, you can retire him and restand your grade 2 or less Vanguard. So yeah. And it's interesting though how they worded, if you do, choose one of your grade 2 or less Nova Grappler Vanguard and restand it. Meaning that they've already foreseen that in the future there might be more than one Vanguards. So in this case right now, when you're in Legion, one of your Vanguard is a grade 2. So if the attack did not hit, you can retire him and they can restand. Because when one Vanguard restands, both restands. So this is a loophole in the rules that many people who play Raizers abuse Cat Butler with. So yeah. So and the thing is, it's very pressuring because your Vanguard, when he attacks, he has that extra critical. So your opponent, if you have him on your field, your opponent will have to think, should I guard it or should I take it, the extra criticals? Because if he guards it, you can just kill him and restand. And if you have, let's say you have 3 of him on the field, 3 Cat Butlers on the field, your opponent will need to guard your Legion Vanguard 4 attacks or take the critical. So yeah, so if your opponent doesn't have enough guard and your opponent's at 4 damage, he's dead, essentially, which is very powerful. So next we have the Strike units. So he only runs 2 Victor Plasma. So Victor Plasma skill is X skill, Counterblast 1, and choose another of him and flip it face up. And also if the number of cards in your G zone is 2 or more, until the end of turn he gets a ability to restand. So basically, choose 2 cards from your hand and discard it. At the end of the battle, that this unit attacks a Vanguard. You may pay the cost. If you do, restand this card, and this ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. And he loses 1 drive check. So basically, he is a strike that can triple drive, but if you pay the cost of Counterblast 2 and flipping him face up, he becomes basically a 26k restander with twin drive. So he loses his triple drive, but he can twin drive, and he restands by discarding 2 cards. So his cost is quite hefty, and it's not actually very good because you actually have -1 to stride. Basically, you must discard a grade 3 to stride. Sorry, cards up to grade 3 to stride, and you need to Counterblast 2, and then you lose your triple drive, and you have to discard 2 cards to restand. So he is powerful because he's a 26k restander, which is really good, which is big number, although it's a pretty hefty cost. So he only runs 2 because you probably only use his skill once because you need to unflip himself. So you run 2 copies of him. If you want to, you can run additional 2 more copies of him, so you can use his skill twice. But in the game, with his cost, you probably only use his skill once as a finisher. In case if your opponent survives all the Mega Flare Cat Butler skills in combos, then use him and as a finisher. So next, he also has 4 of the Victon. So Victon's skill is what you abuse early to mid game for this deck, because basically when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, restand 1 of your rear guards and that unit gets 5k. So imagine if you combo him with your Musauro Raizer. And okay, and because Stride, Stride also gains the name of your Vanguard. When he strides, he's a Raizer as well. So his skill works. So basically when he hits, you can restand him, and then he gains 5k from his skill, and his skill activates, you can also restand another unit behind him. So essentially you restand a whole column with an additional 5k if you use this 2 in combo. So, which is really good. So first he swings for 16k, next he swings for 21k. So yeah. So we run 4 of it because he wants to abuse it as much as he can. And next we run 2 Atmos. So Atmos is also another... He's a Cray Elemental, and so basically his skill is when he attacks, Counterblast 1, and he gains 10k until the end of battle. So, let's just say that you have no Counterblast, and let's just say your resources are running out, and you know that your opponent has no Perfect Guard. Drop him down, swing for 36k unboosted. Boosted is about 41 or 43k, and your opponent probably can't guard it because he is powerful. So yeah, so he's also an alternative finisher in case your opponent, still survives all your onslaught of restanding Stride, restanding Cat Raizer, and all that. So yeah, so this is my friend's Raizer deck profile. As you can see, there's a lot of synergy between Raizers and some of the skills you can use. And yeah, it's all about restanding, and it's all about pressuring with your Legion Vanguard with the extra critical and the Cat Butler. So abuse Cat Butler all you want. So yeah, so this has been my friend's Raizer deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been LJS, and I'll see you guys next time.